Hello everyone, so today I'm going to show you how we can create two type of tab bars inside SwiftUI. The first one is a bottom tab bar with the rectangular button that is moving on the top of selected tab bar, and the next one is basically a line that is moving on the bottom of the selected tab bar button, and this tab bar is a top tab bar. So please subscribe to this channel and follow this video to understand how we can build these type of tab bars. The major component in both of these tab bars will be the matched geometry effect. So first, let's create a Z-stack in which we are going to create a simple background with a color and a text that is going to show you the name of the selected tab bar. So this code is simple. We have extended the color to the whole screen. Next, I'm going to write the code that is going to print a certain text on this screen depending upon the selected tab bar. Next, I'm going to create an 8 stack that is going to contain 3 to 4 buttons for our tab bar, and it is going to be a floating tab bar, so we have encapsulated it inside a Z stack. But first, let's create a struct that is going to show us how our tab bar button looks like. So this is a code for a single button. We are going to pass a title, which is basically the text on the button, an index, which is going to tell us that which of the button is being clicked whenever it's clicked, and SF symbol from the SF symbol library, which is going to correspond to the image inside this button, and a binding variable that is going to help us to select a certain tab bar and pass this value to our main view. Since this value is bidirectional, we have basically used it with the @binding macro, and a namespace that is going to help us to use match geometry for the animated effect. So first create an 8 stack because our button is going to look like an image followed by a text. So we have created a conditional foreground color, which is going to be white when it's selected, which means that the background is going to be of a dark color, which is blue. And we have basically created the image of a size 25. So here we are creating this button. And next we are going to create the original 8 stack with a frame width and height and a background color and move it towards the bottom of the screen. So first, let's declare a namespace, which we are going to pass same to each of the button so that it is basically animated between the same namespace with match geometry. So you can see here on the top of home, a white home button is appearing. So we are passing here a frame width and height to create a tab bar, and this button will be placed on the top of that tab bar. So we are passing here all the relevant properties to create our floating tab bar on the top of our Z stack. So this is how our tab bar is going to look like. You have seen here that the button did not move down on this tab bar. This is due to a small error that I'm going to fix in a while. So keep following the code. So let's create some more code inside my Git stack. So here I'm going to create a rectangle on the top of this button, which is basically a rounded blue rectangle, which is going to tell us that this entry is selected or this button is in a selected state. So this match geometry effect is going to basically contain a same ID and a namespace that is going to help us to navigate between each of these buttons in an animated way. So here I'm adjusting some of the parentheses to remove the issue of this button which is appearing on the top. But let's first create some more buttons. So just copy paste the code and create 2 more buttons with different indices. You have seen here the role of the index. We are going to basically add this value inside my selected tab button when the button is clicked. So here I am changing the title and the SF symbol along with the index. Rest of the values are the same. Now I'm going to add here some vertical padding. So now I'm going to fix this issue of these buttons appearing on the top of our text. So there was a bracket issue which is causing this problem. So once I fixed it on line number 38 and 39, the issue is fixed and our buttons are moved to their original expected place. Now you have seen here we have just 3 buttons with just an SF symbol. We want to add here a text as well. So I am writing here an if statement, which means that if this tab is selected, its text will be displayed. Otherwise, no text is going to be displayed. So this is basically going to make it more interactive. It is going to provide us the information with the name of the tab whenever it is clicked. So after that, we are going to add the on-click action with a certain animation that is going to help us to select this value with some animation. So we are going to add the selected tab for the index that we are passing here. So we have added here a little bit of a padding between the buttons, and now you can see here that they are moving in between these values. This is due to the hover effect, match geometry effect. If we are going to comment out this matched effect, you are going to see here that the animation is not that smooth. I'm going to show you this thing here. So you have seen here that there is a little bit of a glitch when they are moving. There is a little bit of a gap between the movement. But if we are going to check this code, you are going to see here that the button animation is moving very smoothly between different clicked positions. So this is the first tab bar that we have created. Now I'm going to edit this code to show you how you can easily modify it to a top tab bar with a rectangular selection line on the bottom of each of the tab button. So we are going to move some of the code on the top to show you that basically it is the top part of the Z stack. Next, we have removed some of the padding. We are going to adjust some of the frame width and height, and it is now going to look like this. So now we have moved this rectangle, the selection rectangle on the top of this button, and next I am going to adjust its view as well. So follow all of these steps and create the rectangular effect here with me, and next we are going to basically move it between these buttons with the matched geometry effect. So let's adjust its position with the Y offset. This is how we can play around with the values to see that which of the values suits our needs. So you have seen here that the selected button is white. This is due to the reason that we have set these values for a darker background. But since the background here is white, we need to change the color of the selected SF symbol as well as the text. So now it looks fine and it is moving in between these 3 values. Now this is one way of doing it. When we are going to add a match geometry effect with a certain ID and a certain namespace, we need to add here an else as well, which means that this value will be animated in between these 2 values. So whenever it's not selected, what is going to be shown here? So you have seen here 2 other rectangles are appearing. And we are going to set it to color.clear so that it is going to be shifted between these rectangles. This is for those cases where spacing is going to create some issue with the UI. So you can create a simple empty rectangle there.